Hello everyone, this is Fi. We're checking out Into the Necrovale. This is a game I've not played before. We're going to give it a playtest and see if we can give some useful feedback. I've got the game page open here. It says WASD to move, mouse 1, mouse 2 to attack, tab to open inventory, and escape to open menu. And that's all that's written here, so I guess we're going to just dive right into this. I've not seen anything past this screen. Into the Necrovale, begin journey, balance lab, options, quick game. So I notice it says balance lab here. I have no idea what that is. I don't think I've seen that before in an opening menu, but I'm intrigued by that. There's some input latency on the cursor here. It's just a matter of VSync, I'm sure, but it's very noticeable. Doesn't feel very good, to be honest with you, but let's check the options. We got video settings here. Looks like VSync is on. I can switch that off. Oh, it looks like we have... Okay. Definitely snappier now. Okay, Only thing is... Okay. Well, there's less input latency on the cursor than before. However... yeah, I don't know if this is actually an exclusive full screen, because when I alt tab, there's usually like a pause. When it is in exclusive full screen mode, but it's not doing that right now, so I don't know. It seems okay, but I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Looks like there was a screen shake option in there. It's definitely at least less input latency on the cursor for now, so check out audio settings real quick. Looks like we just have normal volume settings, control settings are here, not implemented yet. Okay. I'm gonna click on Balance Lab just to see what... Oh. Alright, so first thing I noticed, that the audio is really loud. Let me just check my Windows. Yeah, okay. Let's turn that down in the recording here so it's not horrible to watch this video, hopefully. Hopefully that's okay. But yeah, so let's see if we can get out of here. So it looks like escape. So that I assume that oh, okay, so this is actually a pause menu. Okay, this is like a really long transition for a pause menu in my opinion. I would make that near instantaneous, if not instantaneous. And sometimes it could be nice to kind of see the screen behind the menu here. It kind of helps you to keep your place in what you were doing, that kind of thing. There are some kind of games where it's like you don't necessarily want the player to be able to pause and like look at the screen because, I don't know, it's like a puzzle game with a timer or something, but in this case it would probably be kind of nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and click on return to menu. So I'm assuming that this is for like debug and such, and perhaps when the developer's balancing the game or whatever. I don't know, I didn't really do much there, but for now I'm going to click on begin journey. Hopefully this will give me some experience with the game here. But yeah, in terms of like the volume levels, it's a really common issue I notice with games I playtest, that people have sounds of music that's like really cranked up high, like way higher than it needs to be. And I always suggest, you know, try opening up some other games, or just like watch some videos on YouTube and check the relative loudness of those things and compare it to your own game. So it looks like we have our WSD to move, a little bit of inertia on the character, but not a ton. We can attack. It looks like the attack follows the mouse direction here. Interesting. So I guess these are... Okay, I guess the little slash effect is actually just being rotated. So there's actually not... Yeah, because I was wondering if there's like 8 directions or something that you could attack in, but it looks like there's just kind of like infinite directions. It just kind of rotates the little sprite, which is kind of interesting. I mean, you get the rotated pixels, which someone might freak out about or whatever, but it's really not obvious because it's on the screen so briefly. This is a giant meter, which on the one hand means it's probably pretty easy to keep track of this while you're playing. On the other hand, it does kind of cover up the bottom of the screen here. So for instance, like Especially when you consider that this is like a 69 aspect ratio. When I'm looking downwards, there's like a really short amount of like viewing distance that I have that I can see in this direction compared to like left and right here. It's kind of a big deal, so you might want to consider even just like putting this on the left or right. That might be just like a simple change that could be good here for that reason specifically. Because yeah, it feels weird to like walk downwards. I'm in like this dark dungeon. It's like I don't know what's down here and I can't really see in front of me. So looks like I got a swift bow. I'm gonna check again real quick the game page, make sure I'm not missing any buttons here. So we have tab for inventory, and I need mouse 1 and mouse 2. So let's try that out. So mouse 2 is not doing anything at the moment, but let's check the inventory. We have the bow. Looks like I can click and drag. This looks like helmet, chest armor, foot armor, I'm assuming, gloves or whatever. I assume that's like a pendant or an amulet, and that looks like a shield. Can I just drop that here, I guess? Oh, it looks like we have some tooltips if we hover. Common sword, damage 4, attacks per second 2. The shape of the blade was refined over many generations. Swift bow, uncommon bow. Bow capable of shooting at impressive speeds. 2.5 damage, 3.5 attacks per second. So that should actually... I think that's actually more damage per second than even the sword. Health is 100. Weapon speed is 0.28, which I guess is just the reciprocal or whatever of the attacks per second or something. I don't know. Weapon damage 2.5. Movement speed 1.16 cubits per second. That's kind of, I don't know, rather particular, but okay. So I hit. All right. Again, this transition is kind of annoying. I hit escape. In my opinion, I think the escape key should, in addition to like pausing the game, I think it should also function as like a back button whenever you're in like a menu of any kind. So that would include the tab menu here. So in my opinion, if I hit escape while I'm in this menu, it should just back out of this menu and then go here. And if I'm just in the gameplay, then it should do the pause menu. Also, in my opinion, escape should unpause as well as pause, because it's kind of annoying to have two different inputs. Like I hit escape to open this, but I have to use the mouse to close it, you know. I'd rather just use escape for both. So, yeah, this shoots nice and fast. I can aim wherever I want, however my feet are rooted. So this weapon switching could be annoying if I want to do like switch back and forth a lot. Have to go into this menu. It's not painful because this interface is kind of comfy to use. It's you know, the click and drag is nice and quick, but could be annoying if, like I said, if the player ends up wanting to switch a lot. Looks like the colliders are maybe on the lower part of the bodies or whatever. Let me see if I can experiment with that a little bit without getting noticed here. I don't know. Looks like the... Okay, I'm just now noticing the arrows are kind of coming out of my groin, which is a strange choice. You probably want to like move that up a little bit, the origin there. So, just trying to see if I can find out like where the collision is on this guy. So it doesn't look like it's, yeah, it doesn't look like it's, the colliders are like too small or anything. It looks like it's pretty reasonable. Alright, there's little red projectiles. Those are maybe a little hard to see. The screen in general is quite dark. And enemy projectiles coming at you are probably the thing that you want to stand out more than just about anything, so you might want to consider making that a little bit more visible. So yeah, in terms of the gameplay so far, what I'm wondering is how much the fact that you're rooted while you're attacking is going to affect things. Because I don't think I have like a dodge or anything. So generally, this kind of game, what you're doing is you're attacking and then you're moving. You're either attacking or you're dodging, right? And that kind of thing. We don't have a dodge button that I know of, but we have obviously the ability to move around so we can avoid attacks. So if my feet are getting rooted like this, I don't know how much that may or may not be a problem. Like, I'm not sure that's going to impact the gameplay negatively here. So let's look at what we got here. If an enemy is both on fire, frozen, and electrified all at once, they take more damage. What the heck? Damage increase 203%. So I assume that the damage increase applies to the case that's mentioned above. exposure taken to an extreme. All right, that's that's a rather particular scenario it's describing here. Messenger of death. Attacking no longer causes you to stop moving. Oh, wow. Okay, well, it does say it's rare, but that's very powerful. I almost wonder if I shouldn't use that just so I can like test the game more without having such a big power up. Maybe I'll equip it later or something. I don't know. That's so particular. Like how I guess if I have some kind of a build where I have a weapon that does like all three of these elemental things, then this will make it like incredibly powerful. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of synergistic upgrades and stuff here. I'm getting the impression that maybe there's like a lot of upgrades being fed to the player because it's sort of like an early build of the game. I feel like I got a lot of things really fast without like hardly experiencing. Wow, okay. Yeah, so that's like a lot of projectiles. They come at you rapid fire, and I don't feel like I can really move with the mobility I need to deal with that because of the fact that, like I said, you can't attack and move at the same time. Like even the normal movement, it's going to be kind of hard to avoid that kind of attack where there's like 3 guys shooting at you at the same time, and they do shoot very fast. I'm noticing, interestingly, we have like a little bit of a highlight when we hover over characters here. I'm almost dead. Oh yeah. So it's hard to even just like react. Like you know that something's gonna come, but by the time you like you see it coming, you let off the button that you're shooting with, then you have to like wait for your feet to move again. And by that time the projectile is quite fast, so you might just take the hit. So I don't know if there's a way that I can... Oh, it looks like I leveled up. I don't know if I'll get any health back. Melancholic Vial, a spot of black bile. Increase your base defense by 5. It's weird to put vial and bile in like the same chunk of words here. Increase your base defense by 5%. Rune of the Hawk. Electrified lasts longer. I don't know if that means like... I don't know what this is, so maybe that's... if you electrify other enemies, they get the electrified trait, or... I don't know. Vernal Edda. Something about poetry. Electrified causes enemies to take more damage. Interesting. So yeah, it looks like there's a lot of stuff that's meant to be synergistic here, but I don't have any of this kind of stuff at the moment, so it's like I don't have any idea if I'm gonna get this kind of thing in the future. Like, if I'm thinking about putting some kind of a build together, like I have no idea what I'm gonna get in the future, so I'm kind of worried that if I pick something like this, it's just a gamble because I might not get the kind of stuff that can do this sort of damage or whatever, and instead I might get, you know, something completely different that, you know, ends up being the build for the run or whatever. So something you might consider that can kind of work around that idea is like maybe your first couple of levels you don't get this kind of thing that's very particular. Maybe you get something more like this. These kind of options that are more I don't want to call it mundane, but just more universal in their application. That might be a reasonable thing, because this kind of thing, it's like even if you do get lucky, it's sort of not a good thing, because then it's like you're just getting really powerful for like pure RNG reasons, right? So maybe that's not what you're going for. So that might be something to consider. I don't know why I hit escape key here, as if I wasn't gonna choose one of these. I guess I'll just pick this thing, but yeah, it doesn't look like I got any health back. I don't know yet of any way to get health back, so I might just end up dying here or whatever. I'll make some kind of attempt not to, but holy crap, they shoot really fast. Like the ranged skeletons, it appears that the moment you come into vision with them, their projectile just comes out, like they don't take any time to to like set up their attack or anything. That looks like health to me. Generally, oh, that's a very small amount of health. Generally, especially with like ranged attackers and stuff, or just, you know, enemies in general, it's a really good idea to have, at the very least, have a telegraph, so that they have some kind of animation before they do their attack. You know, you need something that you can actually react to. In this case, I don't really feel like I'm being given that kind of chance here. Looks like you can kind of stun lock these guys, which, whoa, yeah, see, like if I see him and shoot at like the same time he shoots at me, I just can't move out of the way in time because I don't have the mobility. And like I said, because they don't have a telegraph, there's just nothing I could react to. It's just like the projectile's already coming at me, and by that point, even if I notice it, I can't move in time. Whoa, okay. What else was I gonna say? I picked up slick ice boots. No one to complain when you fall. You slide around. Uncommon boots, that's very... Okay. I mean, honestly, pretty cool if you have if you're using a ranged weapon like this, because you actually can get your mobility while you're running around. Of course, like these are like a pure... Oh, sorry for the notification sounds. Let me try to turn those off real quick. So these don't move as much as I thought they would. So that's different than I expected here. Alright, everything is muted. Alright, so these do allow you to move, but just this... It's not useless, but it's not that useful, right? Like, the only thing I could see you using this for is for, like, kiting enemies a little bit more effectively. Just, like, a little bit more. Because if they're like, melee enemies or whatever, and they're walking towards you, and they have a lot of HP or whatever, you can kind of do a kiting thing. Like, instead of trying to do this or whatever. But yeah, like I don't think you could like dodge anything like this. Like if there's a projectile coming at you, it's just gonna hit you because you can't move fast enough to avoid anything like that. So interesting. I mean, yeah, it's very cool, but is that really 60% speed? It feels really slow. Yeah, but yeah, this is actually pretty cool because it's terrible for like if there's projectiles coming at me, especially with the way that you have the enemies working. If I'm standing still, it's just going to hit me 100% of the time because I can't pick up speed fast enough. But the fact that I can pick up speed and then kind of slide around a little bit while I'm shooting, it's definitely interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just going to get me killed. Wow. But oh my gosh, it's very interesting. I'm just spamming damage at it. I should probably focus on the ranged guys. Uh-oh, crap. Surprised I'm not dead yet. I wonder if the leveling up just made me tank damage a lot better, because I feel like I've taken a lot of hits even though I was like super low in health. And my health has barely gone down since then, which is weird, because at the beginning I wasn't really paying attention to how much damage things were doing to me, but apparently it did like a whole lot rather quickly. Yeah, so these are cool. I'm intrigued by the concept. Oh my, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm dead now, but apparently I got a little bit of health. I'm just spamming. Oh my gosh. I'm getting more health. That's ridiculous. How am I not dead? What the heck? Are these guys even doing damage when they're supposed to? Okay, so, oh, there's still a guy there. Alright, that was very strange that I survived that. So I think, I mean, there's a couple of health vials that, like, appeared in the midst of the enemies when I killed them, but I'm wondering if, like, enemies, some of these attacks, like, aren't actually doing damage or something, because that was, like, guaranteed death. Like, the moment I came in here, I mean, between the fact that I, like, you know, I'm so slidey, so I was kind of fully committed when I ran up here, and the fact that there were, like, 5 or 6 range guys that just instantly shot all of their arrows into me simultaneously. That was kind of ridiculous, but I don't think I should have survived that. I'm gonna take these off for now. What does this do? When your projectile is destroyed, 2 more are created. What the heck? Oh, it says legendary. So it looks like, all right, this is kind of, I guess this is a bug where, like, if you pick up something and drop it again, you kind of lose your tooltip and you have to kind of mouse off and then on again to reach it again. I don't know if that's I mean, maybe that was intended, but it has the potential to be a little bit annoying. You might want to do a thing where you just wait like 300 milliseconds or something, and then it pops up again. But yeah, this is like nuclear fission or something. It's wait, where does this go? Does it go here? I see. Dodge 6. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing dodge 6% means that you have a 6% chance of just completely avoiding damage. Is that how that works? So why do I have dodge 5% here if I have an item that gives me 6% dodge? Maybe there's a rounding error here. Oh, 11%. Wow, that's going up quite significantly. Oops, alright, hit escape again. Yeah, so I probably shouldn't be alive, but I am, I guess. I pressed shift for a moment, there was like a little jerkiness there, I don't know what that was. Doesn't look like it's doing it again. I mean, is that some kind of coincidence? I don't know what that was. But, I'm looking for anything, I guess. Alright, I'm just kind of spamming because I can't really see what's down here. It's like I leveled up. Increases base health by 20. Do you have 100 to start with? Drawn with blue ink under the skin, freeze lasts longer. Electrified causes enemies to take more damage. Okay. I don't know. Health, I guess. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, they shoot so fast. And yeah, like I can hear the sound effects like ducking the music in the background here, so it's like way too loud. Like if you, I don't know if you can hear it in the recording because I turned it down so low. But the sound effects are way too loud. And it makes the music sound bonkers when they all start playing here. Pick up anything recently. I'm trying to figure out like. Alright, so the arrows that come out, the extra ones that come out, they don't like, they don't home in, they don't like aim at enemies or anything, I don't think. They just kind of come out at a set angle. Why did I teleport? And I can't move to the left and to the right. Okay, okay, so I think I'm assuming this is a bug. Like I'm stuck here now. Seems to be soft locked, so that's very strange. I don't know what that was all about. But another thing I noticed, so like when I shoot the arrow with this power up, when the other arrows come out, it plays like the shoot sound again, which might be a little bit annoying, but it also plays 2 instances of the shoot sound, so it's twice as loud. Which you might notice. So that's not something you want to do. You don't want to play 2 instances of the same sound at the same time, because it just sounds like one sound but twice as loud. So something you want to avoid. But in my opinion, I think you should just like either not play any sound when it splits, or just have like a different sound that's much more subtle or something. I think that's just annoying. Like there's enough of this going on, especially with the enemies, and they're making the same sounds and everything. But so yeah, this is the bottom. I haven't been paying much attention, but I guess this is probably just your experience or whatever. Which in that case, it kind of, if this is nothing more than experience, I don't see a reason why you need this to be like filling up this much of the screen, because that's not actually important to really keep track of in that case. Like sometimes games have like some kind of resource that you're using in the midst of all the action. It's like really important to keep track of, and You know, they might have like everything crammed up into the corner. It's like you can't really see up here because you're paying attention to all the action, and that can kind of be bad. So that's the kind of case I would say that like a gigantic meter like this would be good for. But if this is just experience, then I don't need to know how much experience I have in the middle of a fight, you know. So I would just make this much smaller and like get it out of the bottom of the screen. Unless I'm like completely wrong about this, but I don't see anything else that this would be in the game here. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll try. Could try I'm checking the time real quick here. I guess we could just try start again. It does say level 1, Necrovale Gateway, so maybe there's different levels and stuff. I don't know what the number is at the top left there. Looks like I have... Oh, okay, I still have all of my equipment. That's not what I expected. I think... I don't know, I've just been playing roguelites lately or whatever. Maybe I thought it was going to be more like that, and I can't actually walk down here, so maybe that's another bug. I can't go up here either. Okay. Interesting. Not really sure what's going on. Maybe we'll try... Oh, that's the wrong option. One more time, see if something different happens. Alright, looks the same. Alright, same deal. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but I guess I'll try... I can try quitting and relaunching the game. Don't know what the DPS thing is up there. I'm gonna try quit. Alright. Okay. So it kind of crashed out when I clicked quit. I don't know, is this a... I think it's a Godot game. Which would explain that, because that always happens with Godot games. For some reason on my machine, every time I close a Godot game, it does like the... It acts like it crashed in Windows. So it doesn't really... It's just weird. It doesn't really affect anything. Alright, so I'm going to relaunch the game, make sure it's still in the capture here. I think I got to go back to the options. Set this back to the full screen thing. VSync off, please. Right, these aren't implemented. Okay. Begin journey. Kind of a long time staring at this map. Is it doing something? Am I supposed to click? Okay, I clicked the button, I guess. I don't know why it expects me to do an input here. So I'm assuming up here is kind of like where you're coming from, so you're not supposed to go back that way. But I assume you are supposed to go... Yeah, okay. Alright, yeah, so it looks like we're doing this properly now. I didn't equip this because it seems strictly better than the sword there. So I did... Yeah, I kind of thought that this was going to be more randomly generated. But I guess it's not. I don't think it is. Ah, shoot. What you pick up is definitely random. So, Spirit of a Generous Mother lives in this amulet. Defense 15%. Alright, so we have defense and we also have dodge, which is interesting, because if it works the way I expect it does, then statistically they're going to both reduce the same amount of damage. But one is going to be much more consistent, and the other one, I guess in theory, can save you from like what do you call it, proc effects, like the if somebody has like a fire elemental damage or something, you'd get set on fire or something if you get hit. So in theory the dodge one could protect you from that if you got lucky. But they're kind of like, other than that, those sort of semi-subtle differences, they're gonna both be doing a pretty similar job. Wait. Oh, this is damage. Wait. We have defense, which is all incoming damage is reduced, and then we have damage reduction. So does that mean is that damage is reduced by a flat number while this one is damage is reduced by a percentage? Is that what's going on? It's kind of weird in my opinion. I guess it makes some kind of sense if you know, I mean certain damage values will be reduced. Like if they're smaller damage values, they'll be reduced more by a flat value than a percentage. Level up. Increases movement speed. That sounds very good. Slowly regenerates health. That also sounds really good, actually. I think you could just, like, after you finish a fight, I assume you could just stand in the corner and just regenerate all your health back. Maybe. Fire lasts longer. Alright, I kind of like both of the top and the bottom one here. Maybe I'll go with this one, but I'm curious about, like, how exploitable this is. There are, of course, ways you can kind of prevent this from being exploitable, like have it be like tied to doing damage to enemies or something, like when you kill enemies you might get a little health or whatever. Something like that, but okay. Oh, I'm still in the fight here. Alright, yeah, so taking like very little damage. I guess those are the small health files. So I'm not sure what happened last game where it was like I kind of, when I finally checked my health, it was like all the way at the bottom. I was like, oh, well, it's not good. But like since then, it seems like when I do get hit, it's like I barely take any damage on my health. So it's kind of weird. I don't know, maybe there's just something buggy about some of these items that reduce damage, or I don't know if it's buggy or not, but maybe with the current enemies or something, that just the current numbers, that they're kind of overpowered or something. Not really sure. Interesting how like the stats on the left, it lists like a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't list things like damage reduction. Kind of seems like that's like if you're gonna have defense on an item and you're gonna have damage reduction on another item, I don't understand why you would like only put defense here and not put damage reduction over here and that kind of thing. Looks like I got some mage slippers. There's a flame, whatever that was. Hitting that corner, it's a little bit annoying. Alright, yeah, I'm not really trying to dodge these attacks so much because I don't feel like I necessarily can, but I also feel like I don't necessarily need to at the moment. Certainly less interesting. I mean, just holding down the button on these guys and watching what happens isn't much as far as action gameplay goes. Rare staff. Fire duration 4, damage 10, attacks per second -1. You'll have to explain to me what that means. But let's go ahead and equip that. 10 is a lot of damage. Shield 5.7. Okay, now we have shield in addition to damage reduction and defense and dodge. So that's, as far as I know, 4 different stats that all affect defense so far. I don't know if this does this like regenerate or something, or maybe it only protects against magic. I don't know. I have no idea. Looks like I have a little bubble effect that's kind of cute. Oh, sick. Okay. Yeah, so it does do 10 damage with a fire duration of 4, but I have no idea what that actually amounts to in like DPS, because it appears to be continuous, but obviously it can't be continuous because that would be infinite DPS or like 10 damage every frame or something, you know. I don't know what it's actually doing. Apparently quite a bit, but also like if he's on fire he takes what, 0.5, 0.4 every so often. Alright. Increased space defense, electrified. Electrified lasts longer. Guess we're going for more defense. We're at 20% defense. So we're probably like invincible at this point. I feel like the bubble has gotten more vivid or something. I don't know what's going on there. Padded mittens. So yeah, this is a cool weapon. I mean, again, it would feel better, I think, if I had some movement while I was holding it down, maybe. But I mean, obviously, there's some shoes that can do that a little bit. But health 35.6. I assume that means plus 35 health or whatever. It's kind of a weird number. In this case, I'm not sure if it's necessary to have decimal values. It might be a bit overboard. I mean, I can understand it's randomized or whatever, but you could probably keep that to whole numbers. All right, so at some point I took a lot of damage. I don't know when. Oh, maybe because I think I equipped this thing that increased my health without actually healing. So I guess that doesn't heal you. It just kind of, yeah. So that can be a little misleading. That might actually be something that might be worth changing. So what you could do is you could just figure out what your current percentage of your total health is, then increase it, and then like apply that percentage to the new health total, so that this doesn't actually change when you increase your health or whatever. That cause any problems? I don't think so, because you can do the reverse when you unequip it, right? So I don't think that would cause any like weird exploits or anything. That's just what occurs to me. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the way you're doing it. It's just the fact that it can be confusing to the player, you know. So like, it makes sense, but it might just be worth working around, just so that players aren't like, why did my health just disappear? So yeah, there's just tons of items. I'm assuming it's just like the drop rate is kind of cranked up, like I said before. Projectiles move twice as fast. Well, I'm not using projectiles at the moment, but that sounds very cool. We have, I think that's the original bow. Shield 5.9 on the gloves. These are health. I don't know how that translates. Like, I don't know what shield does or what the value suggests. I don't know which is better. I have no idea how to compare these. Wind Spear. Does no damage but knocks back enemies in front of you with the power of wind. Attacks per second 1. Alright, so the game page did mention that you could use mouse 1 and mouse 2 for attack. Oops. Oh shoot. Something I'm curious about, like, I don't see mouse 2 doing anything in here, but I think it would be nice if you could have 2 weapons equipped, you know? I don't understand what this is meant to do. Oh shoot, I keep hitting escape. Okay, this is a bit of a bug. I don't know how I managed to get that to something about hitting escape, maybe. Wait, okay, I have an idea. Escape, resume game. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know how I got that to stay there, but okay. This is cool. I mean, can you knock enemies into walls or something? No, it just knocks them away. I mean, I guess you could go in the menu and like swap this out when you want to use it, and then like instantly go back in the menu and equip your next thing or whatever. Like, you know, this kind of stuff. I didn't actually. Oh, he just dies. Like, this is just kind of annoying, you know. Like, it's possible. It might even be kind of exploitable to do that kind of thing. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't want to encourage this situation where the optimal way to play is like really annoying, you know? That's it's not a good situation to have. We got spear. Length is 180. Sounds pretty good. I mean, this is obviously going to be a bit weaker than what I have here, I'm pretty sure. Gosh darn it. Alright, here I did it again. So maybe it's somehow related to going into the pause menu. So it looks like we made it to the second floor. Actually going to pause the recording. Whoop. Never mind. Okay, I guess there was like a large collider. I thought I was going to actually have to go down the stairs or whatever, but it looks like there's just like a big collider around the stairs. I would actually, if nothing else, just make the collider sort of fit the actual size of the stairs, because if there was ever some reason why the player didn't actually want to go down yet, that would be pretty annoying. So I'm just going to pause the recording real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. We're going to get back into this. So I'm probably going to try to wrap this video up pretty soon, but I just wanted to try out. I mean, we're on the second level here. It looks like it's just an item. I guess in every level you're just going to get a free item or whatever, which is cool enough. I guess we just crank up our health. What even is this? Shield 6. Where does this go? Here? Oh. Okay, so I have 11.6 shield. Slipshot wrist wrap. That's interesting name. Okay, so yeah, I guess we're gonna do the same enemies. This is obviously, oh, we leveled up here. Fire lasts longer. Will that? So with the current thing I have, it seems better to just use the fire as like a direct attack rather than like set somebody on fire and run away or whatever, because the fire over time is not that powerful. This is just fire does more damage, so that sounds good. Phlegmatic, a small dose of, is that supposed to say phlegm? What the heck? I don't know, but base attack speed by 5%. That's actually pretty helpful, especially if you have like an attack that has some weird effects and stuff. That can be pretty cool. But yeah, so this sounds like the best thing for what I have currently, but the only thing is the idea of fire does more damage. Because of the way the language is used, like for instance here where it says fire lasts longer, I assume that this is talking about the damage over time and not the direct damage of the attack. I'm just gonna try this. Let's kill these guys just to get, whoa, that guy's a lot stronger. Okay, so I guess the enemies are just kind of beefed up a bit for the level 2 here. Oh, I'm only level 2. I feel like I gained more levels the last run through here in like the first area. Maybe I left prematurely or something. Where does it say weapon damage is still 10, right? So I'm actually not sure if that would, like, if the passive effect I have does affect this. I'm not sure if this number would change or not to reflect that. But again, it also might just be that it's only the damage over time that's increased in damage. So I'm not sure, but yeah, like damage over time doesn't seem that strong, at least with this particular weapon. If there's something else that did like some kind of a bigger area of effect or something that could like set everyone on fire and then more of like an indirect attack, then maybe that would be more useful. Whereas with this, it seems better to just like hold the flame on somebody. So another thing I want to mention that occurred to me is that when you level up, you get these perks that are like passive effects or whatever. But once you have them, there's no like indication of what you have and what you've chosen previously in the run or anything. So I think on your menu here, somewhere in your menu screen here, I think you want to like indicate which of these perks that you have at any given time, because it's not necessarily easy to just remember. You might forget from one run to the next, or you might have like a long run, you don't know what you chose in the first place, or you don't know what the specific numbers were that were applying to each thing, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of reasons why you might want to see the ones that you already have, right? Right, that does... We can just attack them both simultaneously. I guess we're just gonna kill more guys here for a little bit. Definitely seem like they're a little bit stronger. Okay. Are you still aggro? Wait, what the heck? Alright, that was weird. I believe the damage over time is a little bit higher. It used to be like 0.4, now it's like 0.7, 0.6. That is a lot of damage for like all those guys simultaneously. Simultaneous damage there. We're getting what? Fire less longer, base health by 20, adds knockback to all your attacks. Interesting. Sounds very helpful. It's not so helpful against the projectile enemies though. This actually might be kind of annoying with this flamethrower thing, because if it just like knocks all the enemies away, then I might have to like wait for them to get closer again. So even though it might technically be more powerful that way, like it'll keep the melee guys at bay better. It might also just take longer to kill them, which might just be less fun or something. I guess I'm gonna choose this one because technically it's kind of synergizing with my build currently or whatever. Oh, so I guess the inventory is full. Can I like throw things away? Oh, okay. All right, it's just on the ground. Okay, so I was gonna say like it might be a little like someone might accidentally drop something, but if it's just down here where I can pick it up again, then it's like kind of a non-issue. But yeah, I guess I'll just throw that away because I don't think I'm gonna use it. Shoots energy bolts, 9.5 at 2 attacks per second. So seems decent, but not better than what I have for sure. I actually don't know how rapidly this thing attacks. I guess it sort of feels like I think it's a little more than 2 per second or something, just by feel of it. Maybe I'll pay a little more attention to that next time I'm in combat, but it just says -1, so that's not very helpful. These just give some defense. What do I have here? Shield. See, 5.9 is a lot bigger than 0.5, so I guess, I don't know. Should I just keep that? It definitely feels like it's like 3 attacks per second or something, which is very powerful. Just tanking all the damage here. Rogue's jerkin. Dodge 13%. 0.4 damage reduction. I wonder how much damage I'm actually being dealt by these guys. I don't really know. To get an idea of what the damage reduction is actually doing for me at the moment. I assume like the harder enemies you face are going to be doing higher amounts of damage, so that the flat damage reduction is just going to become like worthless over time unless you get like another item that has much bigger number. Or if there's some enemy that does like a zillion DPS, but it's at like 1 point of damage at a time, just like really fast or something, then that would help with that. So I'm just going backwards because I don't see a way out of here. I guess I haven't gone up here. I think this works through the walls, which is kind of nice because the bow, for instance, doesn't. So that's kind of comfy, I guess. Let's do some passive damage here. Oh, it actually doesn't last that long, does it? Crusher staff, which I don't think I can pick up at the moment. Alright, Let's get rid of that. All right, so it'd be nice if that picked up a little faster, I guess. I mean, maybe you don't want it to instantaneously disappear because you won't see it when you go out of the menu. Sends out a dense mass of energy that crushes anything it touches. 15 damage, 0.5 attacks per second. Look closely and you can see the entire universe running sword. So just for the sake of trying it out. Okay, that's a much shorter range than I expected. Yeah, I mean, it definitely cool. It's got that cool factor, but it's not because it shoots so slow. It's not very high DPS, but I kind of like the idea of this because it does at least kind of give you some sense of mobility because you're shooting less often, then you can kind of shoot and then move, then shoot and then move. Of course, you have to wait a while before your feet will move again after you attack, but at least, you know, the idea is there, so maybe that can be kind of nice. On the other hand, when you have a cooldown this long, you might want to have some kind of visual indication, like maybe even just like change the color of something on the sprite, maybe even like the staff itself kind of turn dark, and then like when it's ready to attack again, it would just like turn light again, something like that. Just some little visual to give you a sense of the rhythm of it. These go through walls too? I guess they do. Okay. It's also so something like the bow, when it hits an enemy, it disappears. The arrow does, whereas with this, it kind of goes through the enemy. So that's also something to consider. This doesn't actually do damage, so it's not useful. I don't think I tried this. All right. So this also the projectiles disappear. So it's worth paying attention to. But yeah, so it looks like. Interesting considerations, but I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. Let's take a look at the mage hat real quick. Give it to me, please. It's a little bit annoying, yeah, how long it takes to pick it up. Shield 6.6. Okay, so let's wrap this up, but hopefully this is useful for you. I think in terms of like the equipment and everything, there's a lot of stats. And it's all really quite intriguing, like all the different things you can pick up, and there's obviously some synergies and stuff, so that's all really cool and interesting, and maybe some kind of wackiness in terms of balance. I mean, obviously there's supposed to be some things that are more powerful than others, but I guess the way that this is kind of unfolding, it does seem like I'm getting a lot of things that are interesting, but they're just like so much weaker than what I already had. So I don't know if there's maybe ways you can manage that in a different way so that doesn't happen quite as much. I don't know. Or maybe that's just the way you want it, where you can just happen upon a really rare thing and you just stick with that forever or whatever. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing in terms of what can be improved probably right now is just in terms of the combat, the action part of it, where I mean, obviously you only have like the 2 enemies currently, but you know, obviously there's going to be some different ones in the future. But you know, you do have to consider carefully things like the timings of things and such. I definitely think enemies could use a really healthy dose of telegraphing, and in addition to that, you know, you want to consider carefully. Actually, I'm just noticing now that using the fire thing doesn't root my feet like at all. Like most of the time when I use attacks, I have to like wait a moment before I can move again, whereas in this case I can do it instantaneously, so that's like really strong. But yeah, I would consider carefully that amount of timing where you're rooted. It's not necessarily wrong to have your feet rooted while you're attacking, but you know, the length of time that you are is important, as well as like how fast the enemy attacks are coming at you, how much time you have to react to them. You have to kind of balance all these things very carefully so that you can actually avoid damage consistently. I would even there's some situations where I like walk into a room and like all these projectile guys just shoot at me simultaneously, so you might consider something like adding a little bit of randomization to their timings. Just little random amounts of delay here and there will kind of help break that up a bit more and that kind of thing. But I think you get the idea. So yeah, this is really interesting. Obviously there's some bugs, but hopefully the video was useful for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.